In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make a lead that sounds something like this. To start things off, we're going to take oscillator 1 and set it to the pulse width waveform. Then, we're going to adjust the waveform position and turn the volume all the way up. To give the oscillator a bit of phasing movement, we're going to turn up the unison voices and set the detune range to 1%. Then, to make sure all the voices are evenly spread, we're going to right-click the icon in the center and set the detune power to 0. Now, we're going to add another layer. Start by turning on oscillator 2 and setting it to the basic shape square wave. We're going to add the sync modifier and turn it up by about 6%. If you want to make the synth sound a bit wider, you can turn on oscillator 3 and give it a bit of a wider unison. Now, I'm going to take the level of oscillator 1 and 2 and link them to a macro so I have control over how loud they are. To add a bit of brightness to the synth, I'm going to turn on some white noise and adjust the level. With all of the layers enabled, you should have something that sounds like this. To give the synth a bit of movement, we're going to enable the sync modifier on oscillator 2 and link it to one of the LFOs. Now, we're going to set up a 24 dB filter and link it to one of the macros so we have control over the cutoff. Make sure that all of the layers are linked to it. Finally, for the effects, we're going to turn on a compressor, delay, reverb, and EQ. For the compressors, I'm going to set it to the low band mode. Then, I'm going to take the ratios and pull them all the way into the threshold and make sure that the attack is all the way down so I get a super consistent sound. Since the compressor is going to try and bring up a lot of the high end in the sound, I'm going to link the mix to the cutoff macro. This will make sure that as the filter closes, the compressor won't be trying to bring up the high end as much. For the delay, I just set it to ping pong mode and turn down the mix, but if you want to have a bit more control, you can also filter it using the cutoff and spread knob. Then, for the reverb, I just turned down the mix as well. Finally, for the EQ, I just created a low shelf cut and a high shelf boost. Now, if you want to get that gliding lead sound, you can turn on legato and turn up the glide. Just make sure that your voices are set to 1 so that they don't overlap and that each note glides into each other. You can also adjust the attack of envelope 1 if you want the synth to sound a bit smoother. Now, with a few adjustments and a bit of automation, you should be able to get something that sounds like these.